It's my heavyweight champion, Big Billy Gold. You're watching BJ and DG talk wrestling, and that's gold. That's Billboard Billy Gold, and this is gold. This is Billboard BJ and DG talks gold.
Oh my God, I love that. Welcome back, everybody. DJ here.
DG here. How's everybody doing? And as sometimes always, I don't know. I'm tired. I don't have anything going on here. That's Chef the Ref guy.
Some of me is always here, and that includes ringing the bell. Let's get it started.
Well, right before we ring the bell, we do have to change the set over because we have passed silver and gold. We are now going into a new year.
Yes, we are. Ha
Now we can
Look
ring the
at
bell.
that. Spiffy. Ring in the new year.
And let's get this show underway, ladies and gentlemen. Fix my mic here. All right. So, I guess start with some of the big news coming out of World's End. We have a new AEW champion in MJF.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
Yeah. Saw this coming a mile away when he cashed in his for his title shot.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. And the idea that how do you not put the title back on him?
Yeah.
Like the time has
Makes
come.
total sense. Yeah. He came back. It's Max's title. Everyone else just holds on to it for a little bit. Yeah. If he doesn't have the Dynamite Diamond ring this year, got to have that belt around his waist. Got to bring back the Triple B.
Yeah. So interesting enough, his first title defense becomes this Wednesday against Bandito, who won the Dynamite Diamond ring. Now, just real quick to throw this out there, in previous years, I feel like it was mentioned that the winner of that gets a title shot if they choose, I guess, but now it's actually official. You win the Dynamite Diamond ring, you get a title shot. MJF addressed this on Twitter, like, of course, I win my title back, and Tony Khan's changing the rules again every time it comes to me, which seems to be a trend all of a sudden, I would like to add.
Yeah. It happened with the contract. It happens now with the Dynamite Diamond ring that it's just an automatic cash in 1 week later, apparently, on it. But, I mean, I remember when Max got it initially, it was he had the ring. If he wanted to cash it in for a title shot anytime, he had that option. So, but it seems like,
at least that's what
again,
I feel like either we assumed that or it was said and they just never followed through with it because he was somehow still in the title picture. So it was never needed for him to do it like that.
Right. Yeah. So it seemed like that all the time when he had it. But now we have a definite winner who is not MJF for the first time in AEW history in Bandito. And he just, that next week, you're getting the title shot right off the bat. I mean, I feel like maybe there could have been a little more build to the title, especially with the title change there. And you would assume that creative had some idea that was going to happen. So I would have liked maybe a couple of weeks in between. I get it. They're going into a new year. They want the big end of the year with the show this Wednesday night. But I feel like they could have waited a week or two and just had a little more build.
You know, I'm okay with how it was done because you did the return of MJF immediately upon his return. He inserted himself into this triple threat, making it a fatal four-way because we just had a triple threat with these three guys a couple months ago.
Sure.
So they did it in a way so we weren't seeing the same match over again. And inserting MJF, who is only there for one reason, to get that title back. He really has no beef with Paige. He really has no beef with Swerve. He really has no beef with Joe outside of Joe pushing him into a wall in their time at NXT. Oh, and there
Cheers,
it
Archives.
is. There it is.
Christmas present for my brother-in-law for me right there. It's pretty spiffy, isn't it? Yeah. Hi, Tara.
Also,
Right
from
there.
last night, as soon as I scheduled this stream, House of Cluck dropped this comment in there like 10 minutes later as I came in to set up for today's stream. Hope everybody's good. I hope everybody had a good holiday as well. We are currently talking about MJF winning the title last night at World's End, starting with that. And then we'll be moving on to other things, which I would like to make note of that we haven't had time to talk about on the show the last couple of weeks with having such a tight schedule and a lot of stuff going on. But how do you think MJF has another long reign with this championship, considering he does have the single longest reign as AEW World Champion?
Yeah, I think he's going to hold on to it for a while. Remains, to be seen who the big feud is going to be, or at least the first big feud. But yeah, this is going to be another record reign.
I'm not sure about a record reign, but I feel like I know Bandito's not the guy to take it off him right now.
No,
That
not
is
just
definitely not happening this week.
I mean, let's just remember, Bandito is also the Ring of Honor World Champion. So what a grab that would be in shocking fashion, only 90-ish some hours later to defeat MJF and hold both companies' top titles.
I don't think they would waste MJF's first defense like that.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. I'm just looking at it from the other side of the spectrum, I would think that at some point Joe's going to chase that title. During AEW Worlds End, also before that match, they showed an Adam Cole video package, which was very interesting. He didn't necessarily say he was returning. All he says, I'll see you in 2026. So could we see an Adam Cole MJF revisited finally? And maybe if he's healthy enough, we actually get something close to the storyline that we wanted to get. You have Kenny Omega, who says he has unfinished business. He never specified. A lot of people are speculating that's for the World Championship. So MJF, Kenny Omega could be a short feud down the line.
I'm there for that, Omega and MJF. They're two guys who should be heavily featured on AEW. To have them in a feud for the championship makes total sense to me.
It all depends on the health of a lot. Like Kenny Omega and his health, he's more part-time now than he is full-time.
That's fine. As long as he can work
and Adam
at
Cole,
some
we really
point.
Don't know.
Yeah. As long as either of those guys can work at some point, I know that they would have a hell of a program with MJF.
And from the way it's looking after last night, Takeshita could be in line for a babyface turn. Because after last night, I feel like, but more now so than ever after the events of last night, and it seems like the Callis family isn't far off from imploding on itself.
I'm fine with that. The Callis family, they've had a good run. But they are probably too volatile with all the elements they have.
and they're just too big. We've seen with the NWO, it doesn't work.
The problem is, it wasn't the fact that it didn't work with the NWO. It was just too much of the roster of guys who just wanted to be part of the biggest angle in wrestling that was happening at the time, to where it seemed like WCW just became NWO for the longest time. Like, the baby faces were outnumbered so bad there was no choice but for them to be losing the war until Sting finally inserted himself.
Yep.
We got an injury.
Eagles game. So
my team's going for the number 1 pick today, so let's lose.
So in other news as well, out of AEW, and I need to take a bit of a step back.
All right.
That in the last couple weeks, Mercedes has dropped 2 of her championships. She dropped the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship back to Red Velvet, I believe. Yeah, and then she dropped the Rev Pro Championship to Alex Windsor, which, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a fan of this whole Ultimo Monet gimmick because it made no sense. She never went back to defend those championships there, so she didn't help them draw any. She didn't bring any recognition to the championships at all, because it wasn't like she was coming out and every week naming each championship she had. We're just like, oh yeah, she has this, she has that, she has this, she has that. So she's dropped 2 championships, and last night, during the Women's Tag Team Championship match, the Babes of Wrath, Will Nightingale and Harley Cameron, defeat Mercedes and Athena, with Willow pinning Mercedes. Mercedes is on a bit of a losing streak now.
Yep.
Could we be looking at her dropping that TBS? Because now with that pinfall victory Willow got, she now gets this Wednesday a TBS championship match against Mercedes.
I feel like Willow is definitely worthy of that championship. However, I also feel like that should be the last of Mercedes championships that she loses. So,
I don't feel like there's a specific order to it, because in reality, she can't drop every title on AEW TV. And that's another thing that's an argument of mine was, cool, we saw a Rev Pro Women's Championship change hands on AEW TV. We're never going to see it probably defended on AEW TV again.
Right.
I wouldn't expect it to.
So, like, for me, it's like, if what is true of what she's charging these companies to bring her in and walk around with this championship, but yet they're never defended within those companies. As an example, Tasha Steelz was the SPO Women's Champion.
Yes.
Right? Just the name recognition, yes, but at least she was showing up to defend that championship before being stripped of it.
Of her own fault, if I might say so myself. She was, she could have avoided that whole situation, but, a commissioner did what he had to do.
Agreed.
But still, go back to your point.
Yeah, the recognition of somebody of that caliber holding that championship just makes it more better when the next person steps in line and actually wins said championship.
Yes.
It just kind of takes away from me a little bit.
Well, I feel like she might have, obviously brought a little name recognition of hers to that belt, the Rev Pro belt, but she didn't really do much with it other than, hold it on her arms for a couple of minutes. And even that didn't really do a damn thing to let anybody know what it was. She had so many belts there, you didn't know what she was carrying at any point. So they all just kind of got lost in the shuffle together.
And it's always the comparison I will make in 2 different ways. One, to the Ultimo Dragon, being that when he set the record at 11, I believe it was, and he was actually going around the world and consistently defending those championships. We would be told about it on WCW. We would see photos or some type of clip, or Mike Tenay just mentioning that these titles were being defended regularly. You never heard that about Mercedes.
No.
And the other thing I will say,
those titles were accessories.
Exactly. The other thing I will say is, I was in a slight debate in a Facebook group about this, and the comparison came up to Mercedes and John Cena. I'm going to be like, cool, yeah, Mercedes, I'm not saying doesn't do charitable things, but not the level of John Cena charitable things.
We'll never do that level again.
Yeah. And it's to a point where it's like, if John Cena went around doing all that, you know what he would do? He'd go back and defend those championships because that's the type of character and person he was. And he'd make sure it was done correctly. You know, Mercedes is literally has the image of this generation's Hulk Hogan. And now, as a character in wrestling, I was never a fan of either of them. I'm not real. John Cena in real life, I'm a fan of, so I think he's a great guy. But otherwise, it's like we always hear different things, you know. Like Mercedes might have creative control, might not have creative control, but you can't tell me she doesn't have some type of say if these titles aren't being dropped. Like, eventually what's going to happen is a lot of these titles are going to get vacated. I would love to do the research, and I'm not doing it right now, of when was the last time she defended any of those titles that aren't based here in America?
Yeah, when was the last time she was in some of these countries or places or territories?
Yeah, you don't hear about it.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother thing right there. We just don't, it's here, and you think we would hear about it. Dirt sheets, something would cover it. No. I believe she's even the House of Glory Women's Champion now.
Sounds right.
Which, good for her, but it's just one of those things to where, what is it really doing for the companies that are paying her all this money to not come back and defend that championship? That, I'll drop the title, but I'm going to drop it on AEW TV because I don't want to travel to your country to do it.
Yeah. We got this last comment here from Stephen Chambers in the chat, directly to that point. Mercedes won a title in Poland and Turkey.
She won a title? Yeah, well, yeah.
When's she ever going back there?
What was it? The Turkey Bowl and a bottle of Poland spring water? Come on. He also has another cat. Come on, TK. Willow beats Mercedes TBS. I hope so.
I hope so too.
Because
Willow would be a great TBS champion. She's had it before, right?
Was it? Yeah. Willow, when they were establishing the title, that was when Mercedes that was the Japanese title, where Mercedes got injured mid-match and Willow had to win the Stardom Championship.
Yeah, that was the New Japan title. Yep.
Yeah, no. Mercedes beat Chris Statlander for the championship after Statlander beat Jade.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, Willow never had the TBS title then yet. But yeah, I'd be perfectly happy with her with that belt and the tag belt. Fine by me. However, I'm not sure this is the week that it happens, sadly.
No. Let's see. Jade was the first to hold it. Chris Statlander beat Jade. Julia Hart beat Statlander. Okay. Willow beat Hart, and Mercedes beat Willow.
Okay. All right. So she did have... That was when Mercedes won the New Japan and the TBS titles off of Willow.
Yes. She did. Both titles, I believe, were defended in the... If not, they were just... She just lost back-to-back matches to her. So, moving on now. Let's move on to what is, as I've always said, my favorite time of the year in AEW, the Continental Classic. And it was a good tournament this year. It was very close on both sides. I believe the Gold League at one point on Collision all had that 5 of the 6 people in that league had 6 points.
Mm-hmm. There was a chance of a 3-way tie for second going into that last night.
But 2 fantastic matches. 3 fantastic matches. The first one they did that kicked off the show, I believe, was the Unified Champion Okada taking on IWGP World Champion fellow Callis family member Takeshita. And what a match they had. Which an event in this match leads on to something in the next match, which I absolutely love, which we will get there. Yeah, this is where I'm starting to think that we're really seeing the cracks now in the Callis family.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it a la NWO of just egos clashing now.
Yeah, well, like I said, this group of individuals that Don Callis has put together, yes, very talented, yes, very strong, but also those egos are just bound to clash. No way to
With
get
this
around
match,
that.
this match ends with Okada getting a screwdriver from the wrapping around the turnbuckle and hitting Takeshita with it to get the pinfall victory.
A scene which later comes into play.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of disagree, but at the same time, I don't think AEW puts a lot of emphasis on microphones throughout the arena or having the fans turned up like WWE does. Because even when you hear the theme music hit, it always sounds kind of low.
Well, I will say I saw a fan video from inside the arena, and the place looked pretty darn full. So they sold tickets for last night. I'll say that. They sold tickets.
Brock Lesnar guy was right behind the announce table.
Nice. As
But
far
more
as
than half
crowd
the time-
volume, don't know.
You know, also fans know if they're going, especially to an AEW pay-per-view, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Yes, there is that.
And
Plus,
AEW doesn't do a lot of down matches on the main card. It's usually just one train wreck after another without no real rest to have energy to get to the main event and be able to have the reactions you want.
So you're going to have to pick and choose your spots to react big, I guess.
Well, I agree, but it plays in to the second match we're about to talk about, which is Jon Moxley defeating Kyle Fletcher, where Kyle Fletcher goes for his screwdriver that he stashed there, and it was not there, which in the end cost him the match and losing to Mox because Okada knew it was there and he took it.
Mm-hmm. Oopsie.
Which I'm going to say, I think that was the best match on the card last night was Jon Moxley and Kyle Fletcher. There were so many great spots in that match. One moment. Dog is going nuts. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
All right, so BJ, what do you see Moxley doing with this title that hopefully will be better than what he did with the world title?
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like he might have a new outlook now. I mean, from what I hear, I didn't see the show, but from what I hear, he cut a face promo after the match.
No. His promo came after the finals of the tournament later on in the show, which we will talk about next.
Oh, okay. It was after that match, but I knew,
Yeah. This was to determine the final, because after this, it leads to Okada versus Mox later on in the night.
So I just gave spoiler away later. Whatever.
Yeah. You seem to do that a lot.
Whatever. I guess
cake.
it's
I
my
don't know
thing.
anything about a cake.
What's a cake? Yeah, Okada tossed the screwdriver under the ring right after the match. Okay, so yeah, that's where it was.
I thought I saw him tuck it into his tights when he was standing in the middle of the ring. Now, which could be wrong. He could have tossed it under there, and I just didn't see it.
Maybe he tossed it back there so it was at least in the area for Kyle to find, even if he didn't tuck it back where it actually was supposed to be. And then he just forgot to mention it when he got to the back. Oh, so sorry, bitch.
Oh, God. All right, and then, yes, the finals of the Continental Classic was Jon Moxley and Okada, which they put on a hell of a match, but it was not better than Mox and Fletcher.
It was each of their second match of the night, so, they had to have at least been a little tired.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that, just the way the match was put together. I felt like Mox and Fletcher were put together much better in a lot of the spots they did.
Okay.
But then, yes, after the match, after Mox becomes Continental Champion, which means we now have gold back in the Death Riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
maybe
first person to hold this championship in over 600 days. That's not named Okada.
So let's see if he keeps it out of a briefcase this time, because he was saying it's for the people, it's for the guys in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. All this time, it's basically the exact opposite of what he said last time. So,
which we could talk a little bit about that. So AEW last night with that promo, even though he drops an F-bomb in that promo, he does put over the heart of the locker room, and everybody really did come out and give 100% in a lot of those matches. I think it was Kevin Knight and Kyle Fletcher had a hell of a match. Speedball and Kyle Fletcher, like you just look through this tournament and you're like, a lot of these matches are very well put together. And even last night, a lot of the matches came down to like the final minute of the match itself. Like, they were getting close to being, yeah, which you would just have to restart the match at this point.
Because it's the semifinals and finals of a tournament, you can't really have a draw at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like with that, like the rally call, perhaps him just putting the locker room over, which in a tournament like this is what they would do in Japan, heel or face. They would put the locker room over and everybody in the tournament. But it seems like AEW last night also really was pushing, they have been, the whole Sports Illustrated thing. You know, It seems like they're trying to go through a slight image rebuild, which good for them. They've had a lot of things against them, which again, it's because they're not the WWE in my book. So somebody sees something different. Oh, WWE wouldn't do that. Yeah, well, you're right. It's a good thing they're not the WWE, and they want to give us a slightly different product. So we're not just watching a carbon copy of something else.
Yep.
Yeah, AEW's been in, well, I don't want to say they've been in trouble, but they have definitely not had the impact they've had since the whole CM Punk debacle. It feels like they finally refound their footing since then, and now they're getting back on track. They just won Promotion of the Year, obviously, from Sports Illustrated. They got all kinds of other awards at the same time.
The top women's wrestler, top men's wrestler. Yeah, they had, I think, Tag Team of the Year, too, was FTR. Like, they kind of dominated everything to where we're looking, which is fine. Like, you can't always expect, and I say this about WWE a lot, like WWE goes through ups and downs to where you can't be your foot on the gas constantly. Otherwise, you're going to hit that ceiling and have nowhere else to go. You're going to get there and you're going to be like, now we have to go back down. I said it when Cody Rhodes finally dethroned Roman.
Yeah.
Like, we can't constantly expect all this stuff to constantly be happy that's big. And AEW, just like Drew McIntyre, is their own worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah. Fact.
And the way that everything is just done. And it's nothing against them. It's nothing against anybody else. I like AEW's product. I have, even in the worst times. And even now, we're seeing people coming back from injury. They're getting their stars back. Like, there was a time period where a lot of their top stars were on the shelf and couldn't compete. You still have Adam Cole on the shelf. We just got Swerve back. We just got MJF back. You know, we just got Hook back. But I'm not saying he's one of the top stars, but, you know, Orange Cassidy was gone for a while. A lot of these guys who are the big, and women who are the big draws, like, hey, injuries happen. And especially with Kenny Omega, you don't know with him. The same thing with Brock Lesnar, which their medical history is why they're on a part-time schedule, that they're not out there week in, week out.
Yeah, diverticulitis is a bitch.
FTR has been showing up, though. like, especially with AEW, you don't need to, since they don't really do house shows, they're not needed every week. Especially having Stokely as a manager, you have somebody to sit there and speak to him. A lot like when Roman wouldn't show up in WWE, you had Paul Heyman there. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. You had somebody there to speak for him to continue their storylines.
Sure, but FTR, I feel like we need to see them a little more than we need to see those other guys. Yeah, I mean, yes, they are very good.
I mean, in the last month, we've seen them defend the titles twice.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the time that they were just kind of like missing in action and blah, 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 it's just kind of like, okay, guys, we're forgetting about you a little bit.
Again, injuries. You got to work with around what can be done. But these guys are showing up. So somebody takes a week off. Somebody takes a week or two off just to heal up and not be on the road. And the IWC goes up in an uproar, just like they did because nobody in the IWC wanted to understand the Cena retirement angle. Oh, he smiled when yeah, because you don't understand storytelling, you dumbass.
Yeah, sure, I'll buy it, but it's a weak sell.
I'm just saying, in that, like, the Cena situation, when it comes down to it, he realized he wasn't Super Cena no more. He realized he was done. It's kind of like when you're dying, you see your life flash before your eyes. In this case, he saw his career flash before his eyes. He was happy with where he was and how he was going out. He smiled and tapped out. And not only that,
sure. I get it.
It just, I just get that wasn't the outcome anybody expected, even with Gunther saying, because how many people have said they're going to make John Cena tap out or say I quit or something, and they just end up pinning him.
Yeah.
And I get it, but I liked it personally. It was beautiful storytelling, which could lead down the road to maybe one more match, and it's something stupid like a minute match that some rookie comes out and challenges him. He squashes him, hits AA, STF 1, 2, 3. He goes out, and he didn't have to do a damn thing where less was more.
While he's still officially retired, and it doesn't really count.
Exactly. And yes, I do agree that Stokely spot through the table. Ouch. Like, that was brutal. And also from Steven Chambers,
yep.
I do think this is where the FTR thing is going. It's just a matter of getting there.
I am looking forward to the return of Cope and Chris. CNC Canadian Factory. I don't know. As expected, yes. Thank you. Thanks, Nelson.
Bye-bye, bitch.
Took long enough.
But yeah, I was very happy with the Continental Classic. I think the right person won.
Mm-hmm. Satisfying ending.
I don't know necessarily, as Steven Chambers said in the chat, that the Death Riders will turn on Mox.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it happening.
I can see it with the promo, but at the same time, even when Mox was world champion, it wasn't about being heel or face. It was about the right guy doing the right thing to beat him for that title and to step up to his level, which Adam Page did. Adam Page had to dig deep and literally hung the man with a chain outside the ring until he tapped out. Just to put into perspective there what had to be done to achieve that moment.
Sure.
So it's one of those things to where it's like, this whole thing with Mox is about elevating everybody around him. And sometimes the best way to do that is somebody like how he was champion for a while. Roman Reigns had the title for 4 years. And you know how many people got elevated to a higher status along the way in losing to him? Cody losing to him the first time only made Cody a bigger star.
And then you got Sammy and Jay.
Yeah, especially if we're talking within of coming out the bloodline. All right, Sammy, Jay, and Solo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jimmy is the odd man out in the situation, and I don't think there's a Marty Jannetty reference for the fourth guy. So,
Well, I mean, the Usos are back as a tag team now, so all's right with Jimmy again.
Yeah, but Jimmy didn't directly feud with Roman like everyone else did.
he did in the beginning when they were first forming, or was that?
I thought that was Joe's Jay.
No, Jay was. Yeah. But Jimmy was heavily involved in that storyline. That was like end of the Thunderdome era.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he couldn't have been put over from that because he never directly feuded with Roman.
Yeah, he ended up siding with Roman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But even then, it's one of those things too where just the bloodline elevated everybody. It's just we saw Sami Zayn was kind of in that I can main event spot, but I can be the top of the mid card. With Nikki Bella is not winning the championship. God, that would be such a horrible. The only way she should win that championship is if she loses it 24 hours later. And you don't want Stephanie Bakir losing.
Why would she lose it 24 seconds later?
Why would you even give people that moment?
I mean, here's how I look at it. Oh, they do that to get the title on somebody else so they can have a feud with Stephanie going up against somebody else because the championship's not needed. So you would have to have a screwball finish to get there.
Yeah, I hate that.
So do I.
Just being honest.
And I'm not one and I'm not one who's directly trashed Nikki Bella, but I've been very critical of it. And I think she's in a better spot as a heel than a babyface. Also, yes, tomorrow night, as we were speaking about the Usos, they take on, as I like to call the team, Dragon Style.
AJ Lee.
I would allow that name.
Just take the first letters. Ow.
Yeah. Yeah. If AJ Lee never actually returned, I would allow that.
Oh, April Mendez?
So be it.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any interest in WWE of bringing back Brie Bella because of Bryan Danielson being
that all the
being in AEW. Yeah. Even though she's more than willing to return, and she's the better of the two. Not by much, but she's the better of the two if I have to choose. If I'm going to be put in that spot, no, we do not.
We have to.
Good.
We can
I was told that we have to.
I choose AJ Lee.
If there is a third Bella, but Jesus, God help us all. And other news out of last night, as I'm scrolling through stuff here. The Chicago street fight with FTR defeating the Bang Bang Gang was actually a pretty good match. As was mentioned, the Stokely table spot, which, that did not go as planned.
I only saw stills of it, but it looked brutal.
Yeah, Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd was just a brawl. I loved Gabe Kidd's entrance. As they had him behind a locked fence area coming out. I thought that this looked really cool with the lighting and stuff. Then you had the Mixed Nuts Mayhem match, which saw the clip, I think, Chef, you said something about with Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy dancing.
That was fun. Just the way they were, it was pure choreography. No other way to put it.
Yeah, and then Chris Statlander successfully defended her title against Jamie Hayter, which I thought was another good match. And I'm just going to say this now, of everything I saw this week, just a bit of a spoiler on my end because I already know it. My match of the week is Jon Moxley and Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals of the Continental Classic. Like,
All right, there you go.
I know there was another match I saw at some point that I was like, oh, that could be no. Like, Mox and Fletcher went out there and I feel like stole the show last night. Who's next for Statlander? I wouldn't mind Mega Bane.
Yeah.
Either one of those, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Tekla, I think, could use a little more build up, but yeah,
how about we call
going up against
How about we
Statlander.
call him Dean Moxley or John Ambrose?
I'll allow it.
But yeah, and other things to talk about real quick. I have in my notes here. We were kind of talking about it before the show started. The possible return of Chris Jericho to the WWE. His contract expires at midnight going into 2026. And
it makes total sense.
And rumor has it he could show up on that first Raw 1-year anniversary being on Netflix, which would kind of track with them wanting to make a big impact moment on that show.
Yeah, it would make total sense. Yeah,
Oh,
Jericho
man,
coming back. Yeah.
If Judas hits at any point, I'm just gonna mark out.
Oh, I would love for him to use Judas.
I think they got to come back with Break the Walls Down, right?
You would think, but I mean, he does own a library of music. So
I don't think you do, and just real quick, I don't think you do MJF Mox right now, with Mox holding the Continental Championship.
I could see that being a setup to the Death Riders turning on him. Definitely.
Yeah, or something that would be very interesting. What if the Death Riders turn on Mox and join and have MJF become their leader?
No.
That would be such an AEW thing to do.
That would be too good, in theory. But like, I don't think.
Look, you do where WWE messed up when they made CM Punk the leader of Nexus. And do it right. Even though I absolutely loved CM Punk. I have that shirt, the CM Punk Nexus shirt. Oh yeah, they're archives. There's another Infinity career for Gunther to add to his gauntlet.
We got Mysterio, we got Lesnar, Jericho, AJ. I believe we have that clip, don't we?
You just made the list.
Oh, whoops. I meant to click over. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of Gunther. They just need to go a new direction with him now, given the current world title picture, that he's not going to be in it for a while. There's other matchups for him to have, which something else we will talk about shortly, of potential matchups for him because of some call-ups coming. But if Chris Jericho does return to WWE, I don't think it's Gunther right away.
No.
Where does he go? Is he Raw? Is he SmackDown? Or do we see him as a free agent type where they just plug and play with him until they have a spot for him?
I feel like he is definitely a SmackDown guy. I feel like that's the spot for him. You can have him go against all of those guys there as a star maker. You know, you can give him a few wins against some of the like easier quote unquote talent there. But I mean, if you were to have him go up against Carmelo Hayes in that US title picture, that elevates Carmelo a lot.
Oh,
or am I getting ahead of myself here?
Which we will talk more about that because that was my number 2 match of the week.
So yeah, I like Jericho on SmackDown as a one-show guy.
I mean, so do I. It just depends on the program. Like, I was talking to BJ before the show, right before you joined, and I had the idea of what if on January 5th in Brooklyn, CM Punk retains the title against Braun Breaker and Chris Jericho returns to be the next person to challenge him.
I get it. I get it. Netflix is Jericho, sure, but I personally, I just like the idea of SmackDown better. Eagles must have done something again.
Yeah.
Field goal.
There's a lot for people for Jericho to work with.
Yeah, on both shows.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Chad Gable when he returns. Chris Jericho work with him.
Okay.
I think that would be a great matchup. You mentioned Carmelo Hayes. I like that. Imagine Chris Jericho working with somebody like Je'Von Evans.
Yeah.
Or any of the Americano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ludwig Kaiser, yes.
Ooh, what if you had Jericho leading a squad of Canadians like Ethan Page and Chelsea Green?
Ooh.
Team Canada.
New Team Canada.
With Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Something I would like to see, speaking of some of the groups like that, is once we get through this now, let's not act like we don't know who these guys are under these masks. Just for a moment, all right? Just for a moment. We know it's Ludwig under the El Grande mask currently. We know the other two guys are Pete Dunne and who was Pete Dunne's tag team partner? Tyler Bates.
Where are you getting this from?
Listen, anyway, for somebody who can't follow directions at the moment, all right?
I'm still here.
So, all right. So we have these three guys. We take away this whole thing of the gimmick that's been going, and we turn them into a European stable led by Ludwig, because the end of this story
Imperium
has to
Part
be
2.
Kind of, yeah. This has to be kind of.
Well, then you'd have to add Dragunov.
What? I mean, Dragunov, I feel like, would be somebody that would feud with them first and eventually end up joining them.
Oh, either way, yeah.
But just the idea that we get away from this and then we can kill the gimmick completely, because Chad Gable ruined his version of it when he got injured. He got interviewed at a baseball game. Oh yeah, I'm El Grande Americano.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Who says Chad was even telling truth there? Could have just been looking for attention because he was hurt and out of the picture.
He confused the events. He misspoke.
Are you guys being paid by WWE or El Grande specifically?
You read too much dirt sheet nonsense.
There just comes a point where how much I've enjoyed this whole thing. You know, when Chad Gable, I hope when he comes back, he is El Grande again, because Jesus, is that going to make for a great moment to where WWE's, oh my God. So in the chat, Jericho versus Finn Balor.
Okay.
I'm here
Jericho,
for that.
Sami Zayn.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
There's a lot for him to elevate within that roster as a whole. I would love to see him maybe go work in NXT once or twice with a couple guys. Could we even...
Why not?
It'll be very interesting to see where they go if it is the case of him returning. But since we brought it up, Carmelo Hayes wins the United States Championship this week. Last week we were just talking about how they need to do more with him before it seems like he's a bust. And boy, he now has gold, well earned. I loved the ending with Dragunov taking the belt and putting it around him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Respect.
But these guys have a history. Their respect goes way back.
All the way back to NXT, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping this isn't a case of that Mello took down the big guy who everybody had trouble beating for him just to drop the title. Because we've seen a member of MFT stalking some of these matches recently and all that stuff, and it's kind of like, where does it go from here? Because they want gold. And they haven't gotten those tag team championships yet.
I would say maybe you feed one of the lesser MFT guys to Melo first, give them the loss, and then eventually maybe you have Solo take it off him.
So he beats Tala Tonga? Because that's the one I put at the bottom of the list.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeff Cobb's more accomplished. The Tongans are more Girls of Destiny are more accomplished.
More accomplished, yeah, but like you don't want to make Tala look weak. Same with JC. Like Tama or Tongaloa is different, but like with those two guys, like Tala, they should be building up to look like a monster. Same with JC Mateo, but Tama and Tongaloa, they're the guys that they can kind of mess around with.
Personally, I think if anybody's going to beat him, it should be Solo.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, Solo should be the one to beat him, but I say you could feed him some of the other guys in the faction first.
And I mean, as it was said, I just didn't get to it yet. Melo was being interviewed after the match, and Johnny Gargano attacks him later on, and
I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with anything that has to do with Ciampa, Gargano, or anything, because they're so good in the ring. And those are imagine Johnny Gargano versus Chris Jericho, Tommaso Ciampa versus Chris Jericho.
I'll tell you what, though. Ultimately, I want to see the next chapter of Ciampa versus Gargano.
Just on the main roster.
Just on the main, yeah. I'm dying to see that.
But do we get to see it at the heights it was at?
I mean, they can't recreate the magic that was NXT back then, but I feel like they would definitely be a draw if they did that on the main roster.
You know, I feel like we've definitely seen that before. That's not a match I'm okay with it
at this point.
Yeah, because
it's been so long.
If we're going to look at a revisit, I'd rather see Punk Jericho revisited first, because that hasn't been done since the late 2010s, I want to say.
You got to wonder also how many matches does Jericho have left in him.
Yeah, what will it's most likely going to be a part-time contract.
Oh, of course.
Now, on the AJ Styles retirement tour, I'm all for that.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
But speaking of the AJ Styles retirement tour, I've heard rumor that TNA's kind of trying to push to get him to try to have him for one match before his official retirement on the TNA brand.
I'm down with that. Absolutely.
Sure.
It's just who do you put him up against? Honestly, if Kaz would still be champion by then, I would do him and Kaz. They're two of the TNA originals.
Oh, if only they could get Samoa Joe for that one.
Oh my God. Happening. Yeah, that's AEW versus TNA versus the WWE. The IWC would explode. Considering two of those companies they would swear was already going to be dead and never make it to this point. So
I would say not for a title, but with him being the X Division champion, Leon Slater would be a great match for AJ Styles.
I would love that. Absolutely love that.
Doesn't even have to be for the X Division title. You just bring AJ in for one night, and he says, you know, I had such a history with that belt. I just want to face you.
All I want out of the rest of AJ, like, and his whole retirement tour thing, all I want is to see Chris Clark one more time come out, like, either as his lawyer or whatever it was. And, you know, just be at ringside for one of his matches.
No, what would be funny is he comes out as the lawyer, but then there's a moment where he has to go to the briefcase and he puts the Abyss mask on and becomes Abyss and just hits AJ with a black hole slam, setting up a match.
Or, like, helps him, like, throws him a 2x4, or, you know, throws him Janice.
Because I will say something, for what they did for, I think it was 2K25, when they added Abyss to the game. Yeah. They nailed Abyss's entrance.
Oh, yeah.
They nailed it 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've kind of been floating the names out there. Let's talk about three of the newest free agents in WWE coming out of NXT. NXT Champion Oba Femi, former TNA and NXT Champion Trick Williams, and Je'Von Evans.
Bouncy.
Where do these guys
I like all three of
end up?
those names on the main roster.
Yeah, especially after Oba Femi's showing on Saturday night's main event. I even said they see something in him. They gave him the test, and he passed with flying colors.
Absolutely. No question about that.
That match with Cody was amazing. It just, they did it right where we didn't get in winner, but I would have loved for Oba Femi to win that match. On SmackDown, on Raw this past week, we had Pierce and Je'Von Evans kind of wanting to talk about his future. That was when they announced that he's a free agent. We had Trick Williams and Nick Aldis's office this week with him and Cody kind of having a face-to-face before Drew McIntyre's music hit for the final segment, which this can lead into that.
Sure.
Where do we see all three of these guys going? Because if you ask me at the moment, I would say Trick Williams to SmackDown, Oba Femi to Raw, Je'Von Evans probably SmackDown, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him on Raw neither, because both shows have really good matchups for him.
Yeah, I agree.
I've been saying this for I've been saying that forever.
And that is why I think we all think Trick to SmackDown right there.
But I think it would be more of a
BJ's different.
what, put Oba over on SmackDown?
No, he said Trick to Raw.
No, both Oba and Trick on Raw.
I think you should keep them separate for a while, like you did John Cena and Batista for the longest time after coming up.
Well, like, they're not going to be, involved with each other.
No. But if you keep them, you allow them to not have the possibility of crossover, unless there's a reason, like say, like they do Survivor Series Raw versus SmackDown for a War Games match, right? Maybe that's when they first actually cross over. But this so you avoid the idea that, hey, we could get a storyline out of these two at some point. You let them be able to build their credibility up, mirror each other like Batista and Cena did, and then culminate that in a storyline where, hey, our paths have never really crossed to lead to a one-on-one match. When we've had matches, they've always been, a tag team match, some type of multi-man match. It's never been us one-on-one on the main roster.
I even have their first feuds on Raw.
Trick
and LA Knight.
Okay.
Oba and Rusev.
I like that Oba Rusev one a lot.
I put Oba over in that Rusev feud, which leads to Oba Brock. Somewheres along the way. And I would say Oba Brock at SummerSlam and it would be Gunther Brock Lesnar if we're doing the career killer gimmick for Gunther, which they kind of put over. Oba Gunther, I would wait. So, as I was saying, I love it. Comment. But I
do want to wait on that.
you wait till next year's That's a Saudi WrestleMania match, unfortunately, if not right before. Like, if I'm looking at that match to happen, you gotta allow Oba the time to become a credible monster heel, and the best way to do that is let him go over on Brock Lesnar just once. That gives him instant credibility.
But I think a great starter feud would be Rusev. That would.
Yes, Sheamus.
Oh yeah, there's another good one. Yeah.
That would be great. Unfortunately, Saudi does not deserve WrestleMania, but here we are.
Yeah, money.
Like, I hate the idea that they're getting the first international WrestleMania. It should be the UK.
Well, no, Canada's had WrestleMania.
The first WrestleMania on the other side of the world, we can still travel to that one.
You said international. Canada's
it doesn't count in terms of wrestling.
Oh, it sure does.
It should have been the first one not held in North America. Should have been in the UK.
There you go. Not in North America.
All right. Hell, I'll go as far as to say Mexico should have had it before Saudi.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
England definitely should have had it before Saudi.
Paris.
Germany.
Yeah.
Japan. Oh my God! Imagine a WrestleMania at the Tokyo Dome.
Oh my God.
Insane.
Be insane. Brazil.
There's we're just sitting here spitballing names and coming off with where it would just be much better. But you go to Saudi where it's only how many? What do you think the percentage is going to be? Like maybe 10% American, maybe 12% American fans, and all Saudi, if lucky enough to be able to go. Because
it's going to look like every other Saudi show. You're going to have a smattering of people who are not Saudi and a 90+% Saudi crowd. That's going to be what it's going to be.
But WrestleMania
Hawaii sounds fantastic. Yeah, sure. I'm sure the Stars would love to spend a week in Hawaii around WrestleMania time.
Dude, the indies there would explode. We can get we can.
How many people do you think could afford an indie salary to get to Hawaii?
What about the Hawaii and indie scene?
Sure, we
might not hear about it here, but a lot of good wrestlers are over. It's again the travel, right? To come over here. It's if you're coming over here, you're staying here to train,
right,
and stuff. But there's a good
when you
scene
think about
over there.
When you think about the independent scene around WrestleMania, it's always people from as far away as they feel comfortable driving in to get to be a part of those shows that are happening around WrestleMania. So if it's going to cost you 10 times as much to get to Hawaii to be on a show, you're probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
I could say like a lot of the names we named for Oba Femi, I feel like would be good Trick Williams feuds too. Trick and Rusev, Trick and Sheamus.
Yeah.
Because another person I would keep away for Oba as long as possible, considering he's in the current world title scene, would be Braun Breaker. I would try to keep them away. Like maybe a random match with Bronson Reed.
Right.
Stephen Chambers, Hawaii with a stadium holding at least 60,000 seats. I feel like the University of Hawaii or wherever they have the Hula Bowl, that's probably
the Pro Bowl, yeah. And even then, WrestleMania is 2 nights, so WWE really doesn't stress selling out one night now. Because we've had nights where one night of WrestleMania wasn't sold out, like night 1, but night 2 was. And they sold like 2,000-3,000 more tickets for that one. So, just a general idea. It's the combined attendance now, not just one. And either way, 99% of people are watching from home anyway. Or at some bar or with friends. So.
And Hawaii doesn't really need to promote tourism.
I mean,
they've got a lock on that.
And then we look at like the Je'Von Evans of people he could work with, like a Chad Gable, revisit stuff with Carmelo Hayes, a Finn Balor, Je'Von Evans and Dominic.
Sure.
Like a Dirty Dom, Je'Von Evans Intercontinental Championship feud would be good.
Wikipedia has Trick already listed on SmackDown's roster.
Okay, well there we go.
Well, let's think whatever Mark.
Right.
Yeah, let's think whatever Mark.
It is when it comes to the WWE roster.
Well, Trick Williams just appeared on SmackDown for the first time in this situation of being a free agent.
Yeah, but they don't have
expect
Oba
him
or Je'Von listed anywhere.
Well,
they have them listed as free agents still. They just have Trick.
As far as I know, Trick hasn't signed a contract. There's been no movement saying that he's an official member of that brand. So I would expect over the next couple weeks to see these guys in the others GM's offices, politicking.
Right, of course.
About all that stuff. So, there's just some guy who just saw Trick Williams standing there, had no context, was like, oh, I'm going on Wikipedia, putting him on SmackDown.
That's not how it works.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
If that were the case, it would be changed almost immediately. The WWE roster page on Wikipedia is so accurate, in fact, that you'll see people's names pop up before an event, before they've even officially like become a member of that show. Their name will pop up on the roster. Yeah, no, I think what you want to know about Wikipedia, but it is definitely a source for stuff like this.
All right. So there we have it. Trick
More
Williams,
accurate than
SmackDown official.
WWE.com, because there's certain things that aren't on WWE.com that they don't want you to see, but Wikipedia puts.
Yeah, because
And
kayfabe.
then, yeah. So, while we're talking about Raw stuff and everything, you know what I'm sick and tired of?
A lot.
This Becky Lynch Donald Trump gimmick. Which, speaking of Raw real quick, where is it?
Go full screen with it, DJ.
It's not full screen word, but hey, Netflix. You know, we all pay good money. Can you roll out your shows properly on all devices? Because you really botched Monday Night Raw this week. In terms of, hey, we had no countdown to the start of the show. And I had to go on my computer, on Netflix on my computer, to start the show for it to pop up in my continue watching, just for me to be able to watch it on my TV. Because if I went to the Monday Night Raw tab to go, it was just coming up as, oh, starts at 8 o'clock, but wasn't there to actually play.
Sounds like something a simple refresh would fix.
Oh, nope, no. If you go and actually look it up, Netflix botched the rollout of it.
Oh, really?
Yes. Netflix 100% botched something that is their job to do, because I get they're new to live programming, but isn't 98% of their content all pre-taped?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't turn it on until like 8:45, so I didn't.
Yeah, I got even later than BJ with my start, so yeah.
And I watched it on
No
my
issue
set.
for me.
Absolutely ridiculous. But otherwise, on Raw, this Austin Theory storyline, I really liked his explanation this week when the Vision was arriving. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted people to see his actions before they saw his face.
Which I absolutely understand, absolutely love it. I love that he volunteered to be in the tag team match later in the night, and everybody was kind of happy, like, okay, if he wants to do it, we'll let him do it. Whatever.
Yeah, sure. If we want to get beat up on our behalf,
they
sure.
pick up the win against CM Punk and Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
It's good. Yeah. I'm very interested in Austin Theory joining that group. I think it's a good person to add to the group. I think it would have been, even if Seth Rollins was still there and not injured, he still would have been in the group anyway, and it wouldn't have been Logan Paul.
Well, he's a previous Seth Rollins guy too, so, you know, makes sense. That's why I wear headphones.
Bingo.
Apologize to your cat on our behalf.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested where this goes. I think, I'm going to be honest, I think there's a 50-50 chance Breakker could win the title next week on the first Raw of the new year.
Yeah.
Joe Hale, good to see you. Thank you for stopping
hello.
by. We will see you Friday.
Yes, you will.
I mean, I am wearing a dog shirt today, so.
But yeah, I also do believe this was the first pre-taped Monday Night Raw on Netflix. I believe every Raw has been live.
Yeah. Yep. Up to this point. And we both go back to live tomorrow night.
Yep. We got the, as we talked about earlier, I think there's a good chance the Usos win the tag team titles.
Yeah. I say I call it 50-50. Yeah,
I think it's more than
legit
50.
See it go
but
either way.
Too soon.
is it though? But if Gunther, like, it doesn't mean that Gunther can come out and attack AJ, but with the rest back turn, leaving Dragon Lee alone in the ring to take the
True.
pinfall.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels too soon. Like, but you do have to get the belt off AJ right now.
Yeah. I think Theory being in the faction right now is good. It's a good way for him to reestablish himself and then move on from there. Because again, like I said, it felt the original plans were Theory to be part of the group anyway. So just you have him there. And I think he would really benefit from being a Paul Heyman guy. Because I get why Vince saw something in him. Vince just pushed him too fast.
Egg.
And if we go back and look, Austin Theory does have a win over John Cena.
Sure. But he also has the worst Money in the Bank run ever.
I could
see New Day ruining the tag team match. I could see Gunther coming out with the whole interaction with him and AJ recently.
I still believe ultimately that Theory is a spy for Rollins trying to infiltrate the group.
I'm fine with that twist.
Yeah, so am I. It'll be interesting just to see where it goes. Ultimately, part of me thinks that Theory could be the one that comes out of that group with Heyman by his side because Breakker won't need it, and neither will Reed.
Right.
Well, argument could be made that Brock Lesnar didn't need Paul Heyman.
No, Brock Lesnar needed Paul Heyman the majority of his career because Brock Lesnar couldn't talk on a mic till 3 years ago.
And can he yet? Honestly.
Yes. What when you let him do it in the right circumstances?
With our
it works. Yeah, it's the right chemistry. But if you want him going out there every week cutting a promo, he's not going to be able to do it.
No.
But you would never need him to.
Yeah, exactly, because he's one where actions speak louder than words. Like, in all reality, in the Attitude Era, how many memorable Stone Cold promos there may have been. He never needed to cut a promo. His music just had to hit. He had to come out and whoop ass, and the crowd was going nuts.
Right.
As the Raw turns.
Boom, 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 boom.
And other things this week, Asuka defeats Rhea Ripley. Becky Lynch made her long-awaited return. Maxine interrupts her promo.
No one was awaiting her
tapping
return.
out. No. On a pre-tape show, nonetheless. What I think was really funny is Brock Lesnar guy was at that Raw, and he recorded a video at ringside saying that she was like hitting, like smacking ants on the mat and was not tapping out, and that the city has like a bug infestation or something. She took the video and reposted it on her Instagram. Absolutely great.
That's good.
But in all honesty, this whole Becky Lynch, Donald Trump imitation gimmick needs to stop. It's
She just needs to go away.
Like, I'm a Becky Lynch fan, and this just isn't working. Like, to the point where it even seems like crowd isn't even reacting to her. They're reacting to what's happening to her, but not her directly.
Right.
And that's exactly why I don't like it, because I don't want to think about what's going on in the real world when I'm watching my wrestling. Let's see here. What else do I have? Bayley defeats Roxanne Perez. During that match, there was a bit of a miscommunication with Raquel coming out to help. Could we be looking at some of the now real cracks in the Judgment Day?
Yeah, we definitely are. As soon as Liv came back, we knew there was going to be issues starting up.
Yeah, but I
And
didn't think they
Judgment
would be
Day,
with Raquel.
yeah, why wouldn't they be? I mean, Liv comes back. She seems like she's always been cool with Raquel, but why isn't that the best way for her to start causing trouble? Is with the person she seems like she's the coolest with. Just with that little bit right there, she can manipulate Raquel because she has that level of trust with her.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured they would have gone with Roxanne because, like, Roxanne kind of jumped in and, like, took over for her. And, there was the whole thing with her being flirtatious with Dom and everything.
Sure.
And, so it was kind of a swerve that, like, Liv comes back and she's cool with Roxanne, but now Raquel is, like, the problem.
Or maybe this is all just a little ploy that Liv and Raquel are working together.
I mean, we've seen how Judgment Day does use stuff like this to give a false sense of security to their opponent.
There is that too. Or, as Stephen Chambers says, Raquel could be turning face soon.
True.
That's entirely possible as well. With the way that, remember, she used to come in smiling all the time, showing her muscles and all that. Maybe she wants to go back to something similar to that, but with a little bit just tougher edge to it. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Which is something we've talked about in the last couple weeks on the show, is how that would work. And like with the meaner edge, kind of, because I get what they were trying to do with her, even in Solo, was kind of like the Diesel style gimmick. Mm-hmm. But she was always too happy. And that was a bit of an issue, like you can't always look happy to just be there.
Right.
And I wouldn't mind the idea of her turning face. I think Roxanne and Liv would be an interesting tag team. But even more, what if it's Raquel and Roxanne that turn on Liv and go babyface? Keep that tag team together because Liv's going to go chasing that world title.
Problem is I don't like Roxanne as a face as much as I like her as a heel. She is a much better heel character. We saw her as the baby face in NXT for a while, and then we saw her as the heel, and that's where she flourished.
I mean, it's also looking at the Liv Morgan revenge tour is kind of ended. Who's there left for her to get revenge on?
Nobody really. She's
so
been to the top of the mountain.
So them turning on her could be the lead to a Liv Morgan babyface turn with Dom, because let's be honest, Dom's not far off from having his first of 3 babyface turns that will happen before he's
following
again.
In his father's footsteps. He's just following in his father Eddie's footsteps.
God, I hope not. No. God, no.
Michael Scott meme from DG there.
I'm all right with that.
For the love of God, no.
You are the only one on this show who hates Bianca like that.
Damn. Doesn't work for me, brother.
You just really do not like Bianca Belair.
If she's a heel, then maybe I can get behind that if she wins it as a heel.
Well, you don't like the positive attitude, Bianca?
My problem is the things she does, which we've had this exact same conversation about Cody Rhodes, and some of the things he does are very heel things. Her using her hair as a weapon in the match, that is a heel tactic.
That's just part of her body.
It's a heel move. It's a heel move. You shouldn't have to use your hair in a way to win a match as the top baby face or
use
one
your
of the
arms,
top
use your legs.
faces.
Use every other part of your body.
But she's using a tightly braided hair whip that actually does damage.
Well, clearly, it wouldn't be very effective if it wasn't braided.
And I think it would be a travesty to feed Jade to her at WrestleMania.
That match has to happen at some point.
Oh,
you
yeah,
feed Bianca to Jade, though. It's got to go that way. Jade's got to decimate Bianca in that match.
But God, no. Like, I don't know. Like, I think she's athletic. I think she's good in the ring. I can't get behind the character. And the things that the character does that don't translate to being a babyface of what she's positioned to be. You know, I've said the same thing about John Cena in the past, that he's done heelish things. One of my favorite things to bring up is him and Batista for the WWE Championship Last Man Standing, where he duct tapes Batista's feet together around the ring post. Absolutely hated that finish. Not because it wasn't creative, because, that's a great creative move. I would have expected Batista to do it to John Cena to win the title.
Yeah, but in that type of match, babyface and heel gets really blurry.
Yeah, I don't think any of this makes someone a heel. You know, I think it's just like faces doing heelish things.
I'll say, as Chef said, I can agree. It blurs the lines of heel and face, but there are still certain actions that translate one way or the other. And if you have to use, as in John Cena's case, a foreign object because you know you can't knock out your opponent for the 10 count, and you have to do something so he can't get up.
It's winning by any means necessary.
I mean, but that's a heel tactic. Just like Bianca,
not in that type of match.
All right. So I'm going to say Bianca, not only in an elimination chamber or some type of match where the rules are kind of thrown out the window, does she use her hair. She also uses her hair in a match where there are.
That's
rules.
on the ref.
Part of her
That's
body.
on the ref for not enforcing rules.
But again, that's not the point. You're missing the whole point that if she has to use that hair that does actual damage, like a real whip, like a steel chair, like an exposed turnbuckle.
People shouldn't use their arms or legs or any other part of their body. You should just stand there.
But those arms and legs aren't doing the damage that hair is doing and leaving that many marks unless it's Gunther chopping the hell out of you.
Let's say she's not using her hand to whip her hair, but she's actually doing it with her head. You okay with that?
That would be in the case of, I know what I'm doing. But if she's acknowledging and we're seeing her grab the braid to use it, she is then using it as a weapon. It's not.
I'm saying no hand involved whatsoever. I'm saying somehow she can whip her hair around with her head. That's it. No hands involved.
I wouldn't be completely against that if she could figure out how to do it like that, because God, would that be hilarious to see every time, like Mortal Kombat and Sindel. Like, somehow she gets control of the hair so it's actually like a whip, and she can just grab the person's arm with it and whip them across the ring into the ropes. That would be absolutely great.
She just completely changes her intro music to Willow Smith.
But, you know, it would be like her using her hair and doing a chokehold and using her hair to get leverage. Regardless if it's a part of her body or not, it's still a gray area in which it's a dirty way to do something, which is not something a babyface does.
She has a prehensile braid. We're going.
Also, it goes both ways. Like, that hair has been used on her.
Sure, she whips her hair back and forth.
Both as a weapon and as a way for someone to gain leverage on her many times. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
But we see that with anybody with long hair.
But I don't think
specifically the braid.
But I don't think.
Well, if you just have long hair, you're just going to be like. Bleh.
All right, so I'm just saying in the situation with the braid, and the way it's used, if she's acknowledging that she's grabbing it to hit somebody and use it as a weapon, she's using it as a weapon as you would use a steel chair
or your own
title
arm.
Belt.
It's a part of her body.
Like that?
Technically, the braid is not actually a part of her body, and it's added to her. The braid is not real.
You're saying
her hair is not that
her real
long.
Hair.
So, again, since we're going to dive deeper and you're going to go, it's a part of her body.
If
All
it
right,
is
cool.
revealed on television that it is not her real hair, that's one thing,
I want to see someone snatch it now.
right? But in
Oh, God,
kayfabe,
that
it
would
is a
make for
part of her
beautiful.
body.
But we're not here talking kayfabe. Because then in kayfabe, if you punch somebody with a closed fist, you should be disqualified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
Okay, hold on. So then if I close my fist and punch somebody, I'm disqualified. So if I use my hair, that could legitimately knock somebody out, like using a title belt. That shouldn't be a
So
disqualification.
you're talking about outdated rules that haven't been enforced in like 30 years.
But you're just working your way around wanting to compare it to something.
It's because it's not.
The
accurate.
braid does more damage than her doing a clothesline, a big boot, or a leg drop or something. That leaves a
I don't
legit.
think so.
That leaves a legit mark like a strap on somebody's back.
Yeah, I'd rather be whipped with a braid than take almost any move.
Yeah, I'll take the body slam or something that's not going to leave a welt on my back.
Well, a body slam is different. Like, yeah, a body slam isn't. Even if you're getting into full force, it's not as painful as some of the other things out there. It's not. I don't know. I just don't.
To me, it screams heel. Just like Cody's promos.
That's why we're arguing right now, because I don't understand that.
No, it's a gray area. I agree with Chef 100%. It is a gray area.
I don't see it as being heelish at all. It's using the tools that you have at your, what's the word?
Okay, so El Grande loading his mask with a piece of metal and hitting a flying headbutt on somebody. Oh, it's just there. It's part of the mask.
No, you see him insert it. You see that it's not a part of the mask, and he puts it in.
Okay, that
but you're
does
just
lend up something to DG's point about it being attached to her head. Not really being there.
As far as we know, it's her real hair.
Me tying.
You ask any woman, and she'll say that ain't her real hair.
Right?
Yeah,
but, okay, that's fine. But you have to throw logic out the window when you talk about wrestling. So as far as
no,
concerned,
I'm talking within the logic of wrestling. No, that is a heelish move.
What? All right. Yeah. Okay. I disagree. I cannot see at all.
If she's the top baby face or one of the top baby faces, she shouldn't have to use it to put down her opponents. She should be able to do it just like somebody like
My
Rhea.
problem there isn't with your initial statement, it was with that statement. If she is the top baby face, she shouldn't have to. That makes her not the top baby face. Like, I disagree with that. She's the top baby face, she can still do heelish stuff. Cody does all the time. He's the top baby face. Like,
Cody says heelish things and then get put into situations in which it's okay to do. But when Bianca does it outside of a special stipulation match, she uses her hair in a one-on-one match and whips somebody, leaving a welt on them. That is a heelish move. Now, if we're talking about a triple threat match or something where the rules blur it, of being able to go out and get a steel chair. It's essentially what she does with that braid. It's the same thing as what somebody does with a leather strap or Hogan hitting somebody with his weightlifting belt.
If people had weightlifting belts coming out of their head, yeah.
It is the exact same thing.
Now I want to see somebody with a weightlifting belt.
Right, I want yeah.
That would work for Hulk Hogan.
That's creative control right there.
I don't see it as being heelish at all. Something anyone would do.
I think it's 100. It's a heel tendency because you're using a gray area of the rules to get an advantage. To where, when we've seen, as an example, like I said, John Cena doing the duct tape with Batista's legs around the
in a last man standing match.
And he last man
down somehow.
It's a heelish tendency.
If he taped him to the floor, that's fine.
I don't see that as a heelish tendency. I just see
it's a heelish tendency
trying to win the match.
It's a heelish tendency in which it is now a gray area in which trying to win the match. Which, hey, my opponent's feet couldn't touch the
say
floor.
I disagree with all that.
Let's say instead of doing that, he had just hit him with 50 chair shots. That fine?
That's within the rules of the match.
It's within the rules of the
So
match.
duct taping his legs to the post so he can't move.
No, but
Right.
I also
Right.
agree that is within the gray area of the rules of the match, which just like Cody
So
using
50 chair
his
shots
weight
to the
belt.
head, fine. A little bit of duct tape, not.
It's in the way it's done and who's doing it. So when you're talking about somebody
No.
who's the top baby
No,
face,
because then
who
you can't
should-
say no.
who
no,
shouldn't have to rely on doing things that bend the rules or is a gray area of it, they're not really
The
the
whole
true
match is
baby
bent rule.
face.
Yeah, you know, like
There's no rules in that type of match. Yeah.
No,
50
but there's
chair
rules,
shots to
but
the
there
head.
are
is
rules
more
in
heelish.
which of a character and how they're supposed to act and portray themselves. Which, granted,
I think
now
you're
we're-
making that up. I think that's the part where we're getting.
All right. So go.
You're
find me,
saying there's rules.
Go find me a baby face that wins every match by cheating. I'll wait. We'll sit here and
Eddie
stay
Guerrero.
live and wait.
I don't understand.
Eddie Guerrero
Eddie
was
Guerrero.
always a heel.
I don't
Eddie
understand
Guerrero
what
was
that has to
always
do
a
with that.
heel.
I mean, it was pretty over. You know,
He was always
getting popped.
he was cheered because of how he did, but it was always a heel character. Still.
You see how you're contradicting yourself here?
How am I contradicting myself from a fan's reaction to what his character was? Stone Cold Steve Austin, a heel. But the fans cheered him for the age that it was in. Stone Cold was always meant to be a heel.
Stone Cold was always an anti-hero. He was always a tweener.
So he's not a hero.
No, anti-hero. Tweener.
I'm just saying certain characters, but when you look at these characters that are portrayed to not have to do these things and then they go do these things, that is the opposite of the character that we are seeing. Like everybody wants to say things that Cody Rhodes has done that hint at the heel turn. Look, like one thing, Cody using the weight belt. Or how he has been pushed to certain limits that led to him losing the title.
I don't consider the weight belt, like, I don't consider that a heelish action.
No, I don't consider it heel turn neither. But those are heelish things to where he's
I
pushed
just said
to
I
his
don't.
limit. You're pushing the guy. You're pushing the guy who's supposed to be the guy that everybody looks up to, who does everything the right way, who doesn't have to cheat or go to these awful lengths to retain or to win a match, and then you make him go opposite of the character that he is portraying. A la Cena just generally turning heel, which should have never happened because it went nowhere. John Cena should have been a babyface for the entire year.
Yeah, it made me slightly more interested.
There's just certain things where it's actions that pull me out of wanting to say, oh, okay, I can buy into this character. Oh, if she's supposed to be able to win and have all this athletic prowess and all this power and all this muscle, why does she have to hit somebody with her hair?
She doesn't have to.
So all right, so she chooses to do something in the gray area in order to win a match.
I don't
That's
see
a
it in the
heel.
gray area.
That's a heel.
I just see her using the tools at her disposal to try to win the match.
Okay, and so did Ric Flair, and he built an entire career in winning 16 world championships on that premise of being the dirtiest player in the game.
Okay.
But that's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the actions of a heel compared to a face. And if she has to make the choice to do something where she shouldn't have to, those are heel tendencies, not babyface tendencies.
I already said I don't think she ever had to. I don't see it as a gray area.
Agreed. Moving along.
Let's see, what else do we... we do have one other thing on the agenda. So last week, we speculated on what will Drew McIntyre's choice of match be after he pays the fine. And if you want to call that an apology to Dan Angler of the referee Heath Claymore during the Cody Rhodes Oba Femi match.
He did apologize.
If you want to call it that.
Technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying if that's an apology, I don't want to see what not an apology looks like coming from him. In conversation, anyway. But we get to the point where we were talking about different matches. I was bringing up ideas of matches that kind of eliminate the referee out of the equation of not having to count a 3 or anything, which could still be the case. But BJ was one of the first matches, if not the first one, I think he suggested last week. And Drew McIntyre picks 3 stages of hell, which, if you're not familiar with that style of match or never seen one, it is a 2 out of 3 falls match where every match, the stipulation changes. So one could be, the first match could be normal. There's rules, countouts, everything. The second match could be some type of gimmick weapons match, like a tables match or something. And if the third fall's needed, it could turn into a Hell in a Cell match or something like that. Or an I Quit match.
All right, I'm thinking round 1, dance contest.
Yeah, sure.
Round 2, rap battle.
Yes.
Oh, McIntyre's got that, no question.
Yeah, just his voice, the cadence of it, I think he would destroy him.
Round 3, they have to go through Legends of the Hidden Temple, last thing at the end, and they have to get through without being caught by one of the temple guards.
They have to find the flag.
But yeah, way to be there, BJ, on getting that one. I felt like we all had some really good suggestions for everything for what that could have been.
See, that's the thing. They all work, but let's take it up a notch. You know?
Yeah, and a lot of our suggestions could still come to fruition in one of the falls. And this match will be happening on SmackDown in Berlin, Germany.
Oh yeah, on TV.
In a couple weeks. Yeah, very interesting. Raw or SmackDown going to 3 hours now. God help us all.
Again.
Hey, maybe it'll still be on when I get home from
what type of steps do we possibly see in this match?
The third fall, I'd like an I Quit or a Last Man Standing.
Yeah. I want to see strap match
take
somewhere
too long. Yeah, I feel like it would take too long to get a cage in place for either a cage match or a Hell in the Cell.
Well, you would have the Hell in the Cell already hung above the ring.
That doesn't matter. It still takes 5 minutes to get that thing down and into place.
They did it with Austin Triple H. Was that it? Where they actually, the third fall went to Hell in the Cell, and between the falls, they're fighting as they're lowering the cell down around them.
Yeah.
Or even a normal cage. I think a normal cage would be quicker, but at least the Hell in the Cell, all you have to do is literally lower it. You don't have to attach it to the ring post or anything.
Yeah, that makes that part easier, but still, you got to make sure you lower it slowly enough to not kill anybody while it's falling, and make sure that the cell itself doesn't fall.
So the other thing you could do, if you wanted to throw the cell in there, you do the cell as the opening fall.
I hate that because it's too big of a match type to be first fall.
So I'm going to say, what if, because I doubt it's the case and it's a workup to whatever the big third fall is, if you get up. Actually, that's along the lines of what I was going to suggest. Kind of besides the Hell in the Cell. So we'll say first fall strap match, second fall last man standing. And now those are 2 high impact matches, right?
A last man standing, though, I don't feel like that is appropriate for a second stage.
That's the way you end something.
No, but what if
because
the third fall...
if you can't answer a 10 count, how can you be expected to have a third match?
Because if somehow you get to the third fall is I Quit. So both guys just had to survive last man standing. Now you're completely drained and going into an I don't want
to see someone after a last man standing match go into a third round of something. That's overkill.
I mean,
last man standing's got to be what's built up to.
Yeah.
If you
unless you're going something, unless you have some new type of new match stip to add to something, but like both, like as you said, last man standing is the way you end something. I also feel the same way about an I Quit match.
yes,
To where
Agreed.
either one of those should be the last fall. But if you were to somehow, that would be, what if you bookended I Quit and like, let's say Cody just gets him in a submission hold. He just gives up right away, like 2 minutes in, and then gets the second, whatever
to
the
save
second fall.
himself for
Yeah, and he basically downs the ball, takes the knee to be able to make sure to survive to get to the next fall. Because in this situation, a little bit of strategy would play into a 2 out of 3 falls match.
if that were the case, yes, that would work.
So let's see. Here's what we'll do. We'll do last man standing, fall 1. Fall 2, Inferno match. Fall 3,
Right.
I Quit.
No match.
So the
where
guy
are we
that
throwing the
gets-
exploding death match in there?
I like
Uh,
strap match. I don't know what I like for 2, but then last man standing to finish.
I could see something maybe along the lines of, okay, what if you did strap match, last man standing, ladder? I think a ladder match as the third fall would be very interesting if you weren't able to pick. Because again, now that you've gotten to 1-1, you've now completely taken the referee out of the equation that can't screw either guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think
that makes sense.
this third fall, I think combined last week we were all on track to get this. We just have to know what the 3 falls are going to be, which we
All
have
right.
a month. I want to say I actually had looked it up earlier, and I don't
Second
remember
fall.
the day.
Evening gown match.
It's been a while since we had one of those.
Let's take it back to the Attitude Era.
Sure.
January 9th. So it's the first SmackDown. So we should find out this week what the 3 stipulations are. I mean,
All right.
honestly, you know what I would love? That they have some type of wheel or like press your luck flashy board thing you bring up on the screen, and you kayfabe it into being a completely randomly selected to where neither guy gets to select the falls.
I got it. Third fall, guest referee, Aldous.
You know what? I kind of like that, but I'm stuck on the ladder match because then all this can come out trying to plead with both guys who are completely decimated. Just for
Right.
one of them to climb up. Cody starts to climb up. All this pushes the ladder over and helps Drew win the championship. After
I'm
everything
sorry, I'm just
Cody
distracted
said to
by
him.
this last comment that came in.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Too bad it works for the rest of us.
Hey, at least I gave you a laugh track. All right, but now,
You just made the list.
Fair.
yeah, there's so many different match types, and I would expect this match to air almost commercial free for the end of SmackDown,
I would hope.
or at least commercial between
Commercials
the falls,
between the falls. Yeah.
or picture in picture between falls.
Ooh, yeah, the Four Corners match.
Yeah,
haven't seen one of them in a while.
At least a good one, and I would like to see it old school style. Like the way they kind of do it now is kind of weird. I think the
Championship
last
belt on a pole match.
Those on a pole matches can be a little weird.
The
sometimes.
the third fall will be a blindfold match. A dog call. Like, these are all great. I just think that what are match types we haven't seen recently? Like, we haven't seen Hell in a Cell in like 2 years. So
Judy
I could
Bagwell
really.
on a forklift.
Oh, what about a dumpster match?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
Probably
know. You
wouldn't-
said forklift, and it reminded me of the WrestleMania dumpster match where they take the forklift and close the dumpster in the back.
What? Lost that thought.
It'll come back.
Oh,
Like-
there's a coffin match. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's an Indies.
Nah, coffin match
Yes.
doesn't fit.
Yes,
this.
I know which coffin match you're thinking of.
And I kind of want to see Aleister Black and Damian Priest blow off in a coffin match.
Yeah.
And then Priest gets reborn out of the coffin.
Yes. And they start a stable together. That's what I was. Yeah.
Yes.
Can't wait for that.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. As soon as it happened, I was like, damn, BJ hit that shit right there on the nose. Points to BJ for that one. We got in the chat saying, what's up? Douglas Davis, how you
Hello,
doing?
hello.
Oh, you know what? But setting that up, you're talking about setting up cages. You got to set up 2 cages for that. We might as well just go to the Hell in the Cell at that point.
Yeah, so everyone can see what's happening.
If this was AEW, the exploding barbed wire death match could definitely happen.
Well, we saw what happened last time they did that.
Yeah, thank God Kingston was
Sparkler.
there, right?
God,
Dave
that was
Buster's
so
life.
horrible. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Other things from this week I really liked was the NXT Dia Hale promo after what happened the previous week. I
Yep.
really hope we get a rematch at New Year's Evil. I'm really hoping that they keep the title on her. Let this accident become something to elevate her. Blake Monroe really doesn't need that championship, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
Right.
Oh, we do have a question in the chat. Well,
right.
what do you guys think about the Royal Rumble winners for this upcoming year? If you go back and look on our channel, after this previous year's Rumble, I believe, or it was right after WrestleMania, we kind of talked about it. I predicted Jacob Fatu to win the Rumble earlier this year for the upcoming one. I'm not sure how that looks, if he's going to be back in time still. But at this point, especially with Rumble being in Saudis, I could see somebody like Sami Zayn winning it for the men. Which would be very interesting on whoever's the champion, because what champion does he face? How do they make him look like a credible threat? Unless it's CM Punk. Because they would match up the best, I think. I don't think Sammy and Cody would match up really well when you look at them standing in the middle of the ring face-to-face with each other.
See,
But with the
I would-
call-ups as well, I could see somebody, if I were to pick somebody out the blue, a Trick Williams.
See, I think I would like to see LA Knight win it this year. I would love to, but
so would I.
Is he going to be given the ball? We don't know.
So do I, but I just feel like WWE has no intention of putting a world title on him,
Yeah,
to be
Sadly.
perfectly honest. Yeah, just like I felt like that I would have loved to see him and John Cena for Cena's last match. Considering the Gunther pick was very obvious.
yes.
For the women, I feel like that one's, as always, is a bit more of a huge toss-up of who could come out of that. Unfortunately, somebody like Bianca Belair is a choice. Somebody like Rhea Ripley is definitely a solid choice. Liv Morgan. Roxanne Perez placed second last year, so to
I
say
was
that
just about to say Roxanne's got a shot, but I don't feel like this is her year either. I could see Raquel. If they feel like it's a time to start giving Raquel a push finally, I could see it being her year to win it.
let's see,
Oh wow!
what?
Allen just rolled his ankle.
Oh, you said that, and I looked at the TV, and I'm seeing the replay now. Oof.
Ooh.
That ain't good for Buffalo.
So before I get skipped, I'm gonna go Logan Paul for the men. And
Why didn't you send him to catering, DG? It's too late now.
If you say so.
Like I said, it was too late now.
He has been-
Damage was done. Bring him back.
Yeah, maybe.
and Chelsea Green.
I like
I
Chelsea.
would love for
I like
Chelsea.
that Chelsea.
I like the Chelsea pick. Yeah. I could see, and I know I talked from the beginning of this show. Somebody I've been high on, Lash Legend.
Yeah.
As it seems like they've been leaning kind of toward at least half the Rumble being or Elimination Chamber being somebody up and coming for one of those title shots.
I'm going to throw out Julia.
Okay.
Julia.
You know,
should
if Stephanie
be in
Vauquier
consideration.
drops the title before Royal Rumble,
If she
or
drops the title
possibly
before,
at
yes.
the Rumble, and the match hasn't happened yet for the women, I could see her winning it. That would be a very solid pick.
Instead of Logan Paul, and I think you guys will like this a little better, I'm going to go Orton.
Okay.
We need that final Orton-Cody showdown.
All right. Yeah, a lot of possibilities. Maybe that's something we... So, just real quick, we are running low on time. This New Year's, we will be doing a New Year's stream, bringing in the new year. Let me bring up the graphic there. We will be going live 10:15. The live it's already scheduled on our page. And we will be staying live till whenever one of us decides to end the stream, I guess, at that point. We are planning on trying to have some fellow people who have been on the show in the past, just some friends to come on. It'll be a very laid-back, chill time. Us just talking about the year in wrestling and stuff as well.
It'll be my countdown to high and dry January.
That's
also, don't forget, if you are an indie wrestling fan, we do talk about some local indie stuff. As every Tuesday, we are live 6 p.m. where we do talk about Lineage Pro Wrestling, SPO Wrestling, PWU, which I'm about to be talking about in a moment. And this beautiful QR code here, scan that to follow the SPO YouTube page where all these events that we go see on Fridays, you can watch live. Which, speaking of such, this Friday, we have wrestling to go to again.
No, thank God.
Yay!
Which, I am actually looking really forward to this show.
Yeah.
We have the return of Johnny Cashmere.
Yes.
Also the return of Tarzan Duran.
This madman.
We have a triple threat match
Flying
with
Ryan
Underwood,
Flying
yes,
Ryan.
and Flying Ryan O'Neal.
Junie Underwood,
Flying
amazing talent.
Flying Ryan's 2025 has been amazing. That kid is on a meteor up.
And just think about it. We saw him for the first time in April earlier this year, and him and Jordan Oliver
against Jordan Oliver.
Nonetheless, who will be having a match against Billboard Billy Gold, if you saw the opening of the show.
He's gold.
Wrestling. He's Billboard Billy Gold. Which I absolutely
gold.
DG and DG talk.
Yep,
gold.
and then we have a title versus title match. PWU Skywalker Champion Pat Dynamite versus PWU World Champion Justified J.P. Grayson.
I wonder who Tara thinks is going to win this match.
If there is one match to call a shenanigans no contest finish on, it's this one.
Yeah, which we will be talking about these matches on Tuesday. Maybe we'll do some predictions for them because these are some pretty interesting matches that have been advertised. And then SPO champion Alex Rivera's first championship title defense against somebody he faced in the first round of the SPO championship tournament from Catchpoint, Martin Hughes.
It's going to be a hell of a rematch. You are not wrong.
No, you are not wrong at all.
not
I
wrong.
absolutely love that comment. And then let's not forget, in less than a month, which will feature a career-ending casket match for somebody with Kid Legend taking on the Pharaoh Face. We will also have a ice cream sandwich eating challenge, apparently, which Charlie Tiger is the first entrant of. Does not surprise me at all. And then
loves food.
The Batman of Burlington's final appearance ever will be at PWU Sub-Zero, January 24th.
Guess we'll have to rely on Nightwing after that.
Sam Reaper will be returning to PWU.
Yeah.
And there's many more announcements coming. Pay attention to the PWU.
You know you
Facebook
love Sam Reaper, BJ.
And Instagram. Also, that same day, if there are any local indie wrestlers in the area who would like to attend at the Pro Wrestling Star Academy, there will be a wrestling seminar with Bull James.
Big Bull.
And boy, that's a big guy, man.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff coming.
Oh, yeah.
And looking forward to it. So I already gave my match of the week earlier as Jon Moxley versus Kyle Fletcher from Worlds End. Do you guys have a match of the week?
I do. My match of the week, I am going to Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes.
That was my number two,
yeah. That was a banger match. Congratulations to Melo for getting his first main roster title. Well deserved, well earned. Dragunov looked great in defeat, and I don't think he looked weak at all in losing the belt.
No.
I thought that Melo just looked strong. So, yeah, congratulations to both of those guys. Hell of a match. My match of the week.
Right there with you.
Yeah. For me, that was my match of the week. I watched that. I'm like, oh, that's my match of the week. And then I saw Fletcher and Moxley, and that match had so many false finishes and it wasn't like the typical way, It was like, you're like, all right, they're raising the bar, going to another level, and you're just like, oh, excuse me, how is this still going? This is actually kind of fun, was fun to watch. It wasn't me in the last 5 minutes oh, look, false finish. Oh, look, false finish. I was invested into the match.
Good. Yeah. That was getting like that a little bit too much. And glad to hear that match was nothing like that.
Don't get it wrong, it had the false finishes like you would expect.
But when when it doesn't feel like false finish,
yeah,
that's when it's fun.
Yeah, it felt like at any point one of these big moves was the finish, and it was just
that's
good.
When it's fun. That's
especially
when it's fun.
Especially for the Continental Classic.
Yep.
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to join us Tuesday, as I said, for our Indie Spotlight show, where we will talk about all this stuff and more. I wasn't expecting to have much to talk about this week, but thanks to SPO and PWU, that has changed.
Yeah.
But until next time, before I get that, Chef.
1, 2, 3, ring that bell.
Everybody, be good to each other. And we will see you next week for this episode, but we'll also see you Tuesday for another episode of BJ and DG Talk Wrestling.
Everybody watching, I'm going to need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm going to need you to check out BJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, because you'll remember the face.